You probably have a lot of different ideas. Every single day, you pretty much have 3 new ideas for a project, a hobby, an interest, or some type of business you want to start. But the thing is that even though you have all these different ideas, you first of all don't really know if any of these ideas are actually any good. And second of all, which one you should actually pursue and stick to, and which one you should actually let go of. And because you're not able to decide which ones to take and which ones to not take, and you feel like you have to do them all, you start running in circles and you're actually going nowhere. So in this video, I'm gonna share exactly how to store these ideas so you're not losing them. And second of all, how to decide which ideas to actually pursue and which ones to better let go of and forget. If you're anything like me, then it's very easy for you to just come up with ideas. But the thing is, I had to understand is that ideas in and of itself are pretty much meaningless and they're worthless. So the thing is, most of the people say like, oh, you're creative, you can generate all these different ideas. But the thing, if you have a problem and you're trying to solve this problem, then you can certainly come up with like 6 different ways of solving this one problem. Which is cool, it gives you a lot of options, but the thing is, just by having these ideas, first of all, you didn't solve the problem until now, and second of all, out of all these 6 ideas that you had on solving this one particular problem, you don't actually know which one is the best idea and which one you should pursue and do and which one you should just let go of. And this doesn't just apply to problems in your workplace, it's also the same thing with like stuff. If you want to start a business, you have all these different business ideas. Maybe you start doing this one, maybe you start photography, maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, maybe you want to start being a singer, maybe you have some cool idea for a coaching business. And again, having all these business ideas and all these career ideas are in and of itself meaningless, because until you execute them and you pick the right one, you don't actually know which ones to do. And I personally struggled with this in the past because I didn't know how to store these ideas and then how to actually see which of these ideas are the right ones and which are the ones I should better ignore. And my solution to this was to build a storage where I can pretty much store all my ideas with all the detail I have in my mind and just all the details that I have about this one idea. So first of all, then I go to bed and I don't have to fear that I forget this idea or that I miss my chance or I have to act on it now, because some ideas it's better to not act immediately and to just wait a little bit to see with a clear head when you're not that excited anymore if it's actually good or not. So the main thing is to just find some kind of storage that you have. It doesn't need to be a Notion board, it can be whatever, but just some system you trust. This is the most important thing. It has to be something you trust. If you write it down somewhere where you know you never look and you don't really trust it there, then it doesn't help. You just have to put it somewhere where you actually trust the system and you know you won't forget it there. For me, this is Notion because I work every day in Notion and I see it there and I have my list there. And I took out a few ideas or a couple, and those are just some examples on actually ideas that I had. So for example, let's just go through a few of them. I could make Afro House DJ sets because I'm really into DJing and Afro House a little bit while I cook and do my meal prep. Could be a cool channel. I've seen channels before do this. Could be something I can do. Maybe I have some details here. Yeah, like Flavor Trip. There's some channels on there. I could do hotel photography for like high-end hotels. I've seen friends do it and teach this stuff as well. I could upload DJ sets on YouTube, 1-hour sets doing cool stuff in cool, nice locations. I could start cinematic DJ sets in some cool, beautiful places. Short form content on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or whatever platform. I could start a lead gen method for furniture stores that would generate more high quality leads for them. Go to cooking school from Gordon Ramsay. I know this exists. Get into remodeling, start writing online, create an AI automation agency. So many different things. But the thing is, I'm already pursuing 2 things right now. So I'm continuously growing my agency, and on the other side, I'm building this YouTube channel and this personal brand. So for me to now start going to culinary school is this exact thing that I talk about in so many different videos and where you just have to watch out, Because then if this is your energy, if I now also start to randomly go to culinary school, then I make a little bit progress here. I still have this YouTube channel, then I still have my agency or my freelance business and so many different things. Instead of me being focused on like the two things that actually matter, or like the one thing in my business, and then I have the side thing, I would be making much more progress. But since I stored this idea right there and I put in some of the details that I have, or here as well, then I don't have to worry about this anymore, that I won't forget it. And even then, because I know for people with a lot of ideas, and if you're more creative and stuff like this, it's hard to actually think sometimes logically about these things, because you get excited and you get into the emotion and it feels like the right thing. But sometimes those feelings can be very tricky and they can actually lie to you, and it's not the right thing to do. So in order to actually see if your idea is any good, first step is to store it here so you can take an objective look at it. And then you need some type of method and actually differentiate between a good idea and a great idea, or a good opportunity and a great opportunity. And I have a few questions here, they're in German, but I'm just going to translate them. So the first question is to actually see if this idea is getting me closer to my main goal. So if my main goal is, for example, to build a personal brand and to make money from this, I know that's very broad, but let's just take this. Then starting to do hotel photography for 5-star hotels would not actually get me closer to this goal. It will get me to a different goal, but not to the same goal. And if this is my main goal, then this is an idea that is certainly just going to distract me from actually what's really my main goal and what will get me there. Then, how quick can I get feedback from reality? Is it months, days, years? The faster, the better, because you want to test the idea pretty fast. So for example, if I go to Gordon Ramsay Culinary School for 3 months, I have to commit for 3 months, only to find out if I actually like doing this stuff. So maybe I can change it around and I can do something. Maybe I can start helping out at a restaurant here, or I can start doing some type of online cooking course for a weekend with like 8 hours, so I can take a cooking class somewhere here for like a full day, and I can test this idea to see if I actually like this and if I'm any good at it, and if I have some kind of vision for it and I want to do it long term. That would be better. So that would be a much smarter way to change this around in order to actually see if this is something I like to do. Okay, then is this idea moving the biggest lever? Okay, does this idea actually have a leverage point? Okay, and is it moving this? So I want to see if this idea, if I do this, will this help me to also achieve my other goals, and does it have some kind of leverage? So if I start the hotel photography, I don't really see the leverage point. Maybe in me learning more photography and stuff like this, or maybe to doing outreach, but I learned this on the agency side as well, and photography is not a skill that that is a big goal of mine to learn this right now, or to master it, maybe in the future, but not right now. So it's not actually something that leverages any of the stuff that I do right now. And the last one is to see if this idea actually is based on observations, or is it just a assumption that I'm making. So for example, making Afro House DJ sets while cooking a meal prep, it's somewhat an observation because I saw other people do it successfully. So if other people do it successfully, it means there's a market, people love it, people consume it, people buy it potentially. So if I do it in my own spin, in my own way, there's something I can do. That would be the hypothesis of this. Okay, but this one as well, DJ sets on YouTube, me doing cool sets in like nice locations and stuff like this. But the remodeling is purely an assumption. I'm making this assumption that if I just buy stuff somewhere that I found here in my neighborhood for cheap, and then I remodel it, that I can make some fun project with it, that even where people pay me some stuff for it. but it would be a fun project. I don't know. I'm making the assumption. I've never done any remodeling work, so this is very much an assumption. And I want to make sure that this is actually an observation and something that I observed and that I know and that I break down, instead of just hypothesizing and making assumptions in my brain.